Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nedling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Nedling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. As always, we bring guests on and topics that should help you to empower your business and take it to the next level. So today, I'm so excited to have Steve. Is it Buzogany?
Buzogany.
Yeah. Buzogany. You know what? When I first saw it, I thought, I bet you it is. You could be a character in like a Marvel. Buzogany.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought, as soon as I heard it, I thought we could just put a cape on you and it'd be great. The appreciation superhero, right?
That's perfect. I will take it and run
Maybe
with it.
Somebody will do a caricature of that. That would be awesome.
That's fine. That works. I'll take it.
So let's talk a little bit about who Steve is. He is the founder and CEO of the Appreciation Advocate. And since 2012, Steve has been a small business owner who focuses on his business around one thing: building deep and meaningful relationships. By doing so, he was able to sell nearly $100 million worth of real estate, working 3 to 4 days a week, and allowing also to take off 1 to 2 months a year for just Steve time. Today, Steve teaches other small businesses how they can quickly stand out among the crowd, build a deep and substantive relationship, and eliminate burnout, taking more time off, generating more referrals, and increasing income, and having more fun in their career. Our theme for this episode is the art of attraction. Stop chasing and start enticing. Please join me in welcoming Steve Buzogany. Steve.
What is going on?
I love this because, I have had several times this year where I've done things about captivating your audience and learning how to be captivating. And it's so funny because the switch that a lot of folks have had to take from going from the corporate world to becoming entrepreneurs, you still kind of have that corporate mentality, and having fun or being captivating seems like, well, no, I have to be ultra professional, and all. And it takes away from your passion and your message. And so I think it's important what you do.
Yes, it's transformational a lot of the times. For me, it's like I started my career not doing what I wanted, which was going to college and getting a degree in accounting. And I did a couple of internships as an accountant, and I absolutely hated it. So, and there's nothing against accounting, it's just not for me. So like what happens is I got that. I was like, well, I'm already a senior in college. Like, what am I going to do? What can I do that doesn't require a degree but can pay me well? So then I found real estate, and I was like, oh, this is cool. They don't need a degree. They need $1,000, and I'll go get a license, and then away you go. So that's
and you can use some of those accounting skills.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'm like, all right, well, let's take that and run with it. So I took them, and then I started doing that. Got all the fun awards that they give you in real estate. Rookie of the year, all that fun stuff. And then I was just like, I met a mentor who finally told me, like, this is how you build a business, by investing in people. Don't be transactional, be relational. Yeah. And I was like, yep. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. He said the leads will be higher quality. You won't have to work as hard for the leads. You won't have to work as hard to close them, which was like, at heart, I am a little bit lazy. So I want to make sure that I don't have to work as hard to close these people. I just like, okay, great. The least amount of effort I can put in to make deals happen, let's do that. So very efficient that way. So I got my, I started doing really well with it. And then I became known as like the referral guy in my office. And then I was like, okay, great. What can I do to help you? And then I started helping people, and they finally, enough people just kind of kept asking me over and over and over again. I was like, okay, there's obviously a market here somewhere. I need to do something.
Yeah.
And then that's when I built Appreciation Advocate. And I was just like, because the reason I built, so to give you an idea, Appreciation Advocate is designed for 3 people: mom and pop, average Joe, and the solopreneur. And the reason I built it for them was because that kind of a business, like that appreciation client, gratitude marketing, all that, it's not really that kind of advertising doesn't exist for most small businesses, because to talk to these kind of gifting companies, and I did a lot of research on this, they usually cost 10, 15, 20,000 plus just to talk to them. Like, you haven't even bought a gift yet. And it's just like, mom and pop and average Joe don't show up for that conversation. So I'm like, they're on the sidelines for that type of marketing. And I'm like, no, I need to get them in the game for this kind of thing. So I don't cost a crazy five figure number to just to talk to me. I mean, I would rather the businesses like, come in, spend their money on their clients,
knocking your door down.
Yeah, I'd rather them just spend the money on their clients. I mean, like, cool, I got to put food on the table for my family, great, but I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg for it. I mean, I don't even cost half of what those people cost.
Yeah.
So that's how I got it, and that's what really drives me. It's not even the easy thing is because it's not about the money. It's just like about like making sure that these people have access to that type of marketing, and then building relationships. Because at the end of the day, it's not about making them. It's not even about the money. Like I said, it's about basically when they have do a better job appreciating their clients, they not only get a better business, but the clients that they serve get a better experience. So it helps everybody all around, which is the cool part.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So why don't we tell everybody where you're from? Where do you call home?
Philadelphia.
Excellent. Philadelphia.
Yes.
The Eagles. I guess both of us didn't have great football teams this year. We won't go into that too much.
This weekend was a rough weekend to watch. God.
Yes. All right. So you kind of delved into this, but once you got this idea in your head that you didn't want to be an accountant, and how long did it take you to start your company?
So go into real estate, that company, or the
appreciation. No, the appreciation.
Oh, so I did real estate for 10 years before I got into Appreciation Advocate. So it was pretty long time. But I let's put it this way. I was doing what Appreciation Advocate does now. I was doing it under the guise of real estate agent. It's just now I get paid to do it for other people, because I was always doing it. So I've always been giving gifts in a systemized way for people and all that stuff. So technically I've started it a long time ago.
So just give the audience a little bit of a detail about, what is the mission, and what is, what does the Appreciation Advocate business do?
To put it quite simply, so you know how at Christmas time, Santa gets all the credit and all the elves build all the toys all year long. Basically, that's what I do. I'm the elves and you're Santa. And so we do all of the client appreciation for small businesses throughout the year, for the whole year. So we'll just basically give you and your clients gifts all day long, or not all day, all year long. And that's it. And you just get the referrals, and you get the credit, the referrals, the bigger business, and all that stuff. And we're as invisible as possible. We don't put our brand on anything. We don't advertise our stuff. We don't allow our clients to put their advertising on stuff, because it becomes a promotion at that point.
Right,
it's not a
gift.
Right. And so we don't allow gifts during Christmas at all. The month of December, you are not allowed to send a gift if you are a client of ours, just because it takes up more time. Or sorry, it'll take up it won't make the impact that you're trying to make. The impression won't be there.
Right.
So, because everybody else
is doing it, right?
So you won't stand out. So and my job is to make you stand out. That's what I do. I'm a gratitude marketer. So that's what we're not going to stand out if you're giving gifts. For me personally, we have 47 Christmas cards on our countertop. if you write me, even if you write something that's small, like you don't have to go spend a fortune on every gift. Like you can get some really cool stuff for under $100. But even if you went super cheap and just wrote like a 50-cent handwritten note, that's still going to get lost in the mush too, because I got 41, 47 Christmas cards on my desk.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's like, you're just another one. So like, that's why month of December is just off limits. Just don't even bother. So just let's prepare for next year. That's how we spend the month of December. And let's start setting up clients for next year.
And it does make a bigger impression whenever it's unexpected.
Well, yeah. And so we do have what's called the shock and awe factor. So like you get a gift on like March 11th, in the middle of, for no reason, or July 13th, you're like, for no reason. And you get like something like a set of Cutco knives, or you get a watercolor painting of your house, or whatever it is. Like these people are like, whoa, like, so it's pretty cool. So like these people, like, you don't expect it. So they have that shock and awe factor. And then they talk about it, because I mean, think about it for you. Like, when was you can probably remember the last time something super, super nice happened to you, but it was totally random and unexpected. How long did it take you to tell somebody that happened?
Oh yeah, you tell it right away.
Yeah, it's like within hours. It's like, oh, guess what happened earlier today? You wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? So it's that quick.
Right. So how did being a real estate agent, though, help you to do this? Was it something that you did because you thought it would add more sales, or did you do it really because you wanted to show appreciation to your clients?
At the beginning, it was the former. In the beginning, it was, I need more sales. I need more business. I'm literally 20 years old and I'm broke.
So like, you had to be creative, right?
Yeah. And I needed to stand out. And I can't advertise, like, at the time, when I'm 20 years old, I can't advertise, oh, #1 realtor in the city of Philadelphia. Like, I can't say that because I just got my license. So yeah, like standing out for somebody and going in that next level deep, or 3 or 4 levels deep. And it's like, that's like, oh, well, you clearly pay attention and you clearly care about me. And the most important thing was doing it after the sale happened, like after I've already gotten paid my commission, and I still keep in touch and I still send these gifts and they keep going. I have some clients I had sent gifts and notes and letters to 8, 9 years after they bought their home. They're like, Steve, you're the most consistent person I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally you have not missed a month. And it's just like, some people. So I guess to answer your question, how real estate helped, it was just because it's a people business. So, and that's the thing, is what makes Appreciation Advocate so cool, is that basically it will work on any business that has people in it, which is basically anything.
And I think a key thing, and it's something that I teach just in leadership, is you have to be an active listener. Even as a speaker, it's important that I listen to what my audience is saying, so I know if I'm meeting their needs. So I think in what you do, you really have to be that person that listens more than you talk.
Yeah. So funny that you bring that up. I actually do a weekly webinar for what I do here at Appreciation Advocate, and I teach it every week. So, but that one of the things we talk about is what you just said, which is being an active listener. Now we call it drinking the juice, and by juice, I in quotes, and we put it in quotes because, like, whenever people gossip or talk about like something interesting, it's like, oh, give me the juicy story. So we always call it, where's the juice? Find their juice and drink it. So like, when someone says, like, for us, like, if you showed up with a Starbucks in your hand, I want to know what you're drinking, because I'm going to make a note of it. I want to find that out. Or if you said, Steve, my dog just died last week, I'm like, oh, damn, what was your dog's name? Like, do you have a picture? I love dogs myself. And I do. That's the truth. I do. I have 2 big Bernese mountain dogs in my house. So like, so it's a very genuine thing. But I want to know. And I'd make these notes, and, what's your favorite place to vacation to, like everything, like I said, get the juicy stuff, like drink the juice. And that's, so it's one of the things we teach.
For sure. So you went from accounting to real estate, accounting, and now you're an entrepreneur. How was that transition?
Well, so accounting was extremely boring, and I think for me it was like, I think sitting in front of the TV or the computer for 8, 9 hours a day, it was just like, I mean, I haven't been diagnosed with ADD, but I'm pretty sure I have it. Like, I'm just like, I can't sit still for the life of me. And I'm just like, I got to sit here and do numbers all day long.
You're not a cruncher, huh? Number cruncher.
That's the thing though. I am a massive numbers person, which is why I've turned like gratitude into a systemized campaign, because I'm a numbers guy, but I just can't do it 8 hours a day for 30 years. So then I was just like, so I was like, okay, great. So then I got, so that was actually pretty easy to go from that to real estate, because then real estate, it was like, okay, now I went from being totally locked down 8 hours a day on a computer to complete utter freedom. Like,
yeah.
Like now it's like, okay, go. Like that was my mentor at the time. All right, go sell houses. Like, you're off, away you go. And I was like, no direction, no guidance, no structure. Like, you got to do it all your own.
Yeah.
So that was like it was really wild to go from one extreme to the other. And then you have to learn to build your own systems, to establish your own disciplines. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow. Like, and then finally after about 2 years, 3 years of figuring it out, I do like, now I have a crazy neurotic morning routine that like literally nobody on the face of the earth does. Maybe like 0.5% of people do. And then like waking up at like 3:45 in the morning and crazy stuff like that. So like we have like a good time now. Like, I have a good disciplinary routine and execute all my tasks now. Mm-hmm. And then obviously by the time I get to appreciation advocate, I'm like, I'm the man I'm supposed to be for this job. Yeah. Like, I think I had a lot of growth that had to happen as a college kid, as an accountant, as a real estate agent. And then, by the time I'm here, because as a real estate agent, a lot of time I was doing it just because I wanted the money, because I'm like, my young kid, I'm just trying to hustle and make it work for myself.
Exactly.
And then when you break 30 and you realize you're starting to enter your, well, I guess some people are like, yeah, Steve, you're 30, whatever. Like, you're not that old. But it's like, you do have a different, because not only am I 30, but now I have 2 kids too. Yeah. So like, you change it, that obviously changes perspective a lot.
Yeah, sure does.
And so it's like, okay, well, you kind of morph into the person you're meant to be. And this new role is like, you're not chasing it for the money. You're chasing it because of the passion. You're chasing it for the purpose of what you're here for. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's really cool.
And I think one of the important things to remember is that each step that you took along the way, each path that you took in your journey, built you to be where you are today.
Yeah.
It's really was that compound effect of being able to try something, fail or succeed, but taking the lesson and building upon it so that you can continue to grow and develop.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my life's just been one big construction project.
That's a great thing. You're a Lego fan.
Yes, basically.
So what makes your gifting company so much better than the other companies that are out there?
So for us, it's the price. I mean, like I said, we're not here to capitalize on the big business that Fortune 500 companies are. Like, we want mom and pop, average Joe, and the solopreneur to be able to attend the conversation. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is, we have ways of personalizing gifts in a way that no one else does, that I could find. I mean, literally, when I was starting the company, I Googled one of the reasons I started the company was because I couldn't find someone to do it for me, which was like, being able to, if you were to send me your top 25 clients, I can literally build a campaign for each and every single one of those 25 people unique to that person. Whereas most gifting companies can only, we have to have a minimum order of 50. They all have to be the same thing. It's got to be your company branded. And like, it's like, I don't want it to be about me and my company. I don't want them all to get the same gift. And I want to be able to personalize them all, because they're all different people. They should all get different treatment, and nobody else does that. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, all right, nobody else does this. I have to build it. I have to, because nobody else will freaking do this for me.
So, and the cool thing is, it could be that some of the customers that you have are friendly, know each other, and all of a sudden they see, oh, wait, you got this and so now it makes their gift even more special.
Yes, I actually had that fear, because again, me being a referral guy, a lot of my database hangs out with each other.
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I can't get Kim something and then Elisa will see what I got Kim, and she'll be holding the same thing. It's like, oh crap, I can't get them the same. So like, you had to have that uniqueness to it. So nobody could provide that for me, so I built it myself. So that's
Unless
where
you hear from Kim that Elisa really liked what Kim got. So the next time
yeah, that's right. It's freaking, that's the curse of my job. But that's the other thing that, Christmas is awful too, because I'm like, everybody, Steve, you're the gift giver. So of course I have a very high standard. Everybody's like, what's Steve going to get? What's he going to get me? Because if I can't show up with like, well, we don't even do gift cards because they're one of our big X's, big no-nos, but I can't be showing up with a lame gift. Everyone's like, Steve, you own a gifting company, you show up with that. The curse of my job.
So if a small business owner asks you, what's the one thing I could start doing today to improve my business, what would you say to them?
Outside of hiring me, I would say look, listen, you need to focus on implementing gratitude in a systemized way into your business, because gratitude is the number one way to get the highest ROI possible, the highest ROI available in the marketing world, except not a lot of people use it. I'm talking return on investment, like 10, 20, 50, 1,000x type ROIs. And me personally, in my real estate career, I had 1 year where I had a 1,500% ROI. I mean, it was stupid numbers. So like you're not getting that, spending that on like a newspaper ad or a TV ad or a billboard or whatever else you're paying for. So what I'd say, if you're trying to improve yourself, unlock your potential and invest in some gratitude marketing.
So I imagine though, it's sometimes, especially for the new business or new entrepreneur, a more difficult discussion sometimes, because not everybody understands investing in your business. They just want to try to find ways to make money fast, and they get so involved in that they forget that there is a customer on the other end of that transaction.
Yes. Yeah, that was me in my early career before I met that relational mentor that I got. I was just grinding it out, like one deal after another, find them, fleece them, forget them, move on. And then he was like, dude, that's not how you do this. He's like, you're working way too hard. I was like, oh, because I'm the Energizer Bunny. I literally don't need to sleep. Like I'll just keep working forever. And I've never experienced burnout
That's
before.
Just because you're in your 30s.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could literally work forever. Like I don't think I've ever experienced burnout in my life once. So it's like, yeah, I just keep going. And then it takes like a really strong personality to just grab me. He literally grabbed me, put me up against the wall, like grabbed my tie and was like, stop.
Yeah.
So
you do need to, if you're that way, you do need that 1 to 2 months of Steve time.
God, that's actually exactly what I call it. I do have it. I put it in the calendar as Steve time. That's literally
That's right,
so when you said that, I was like, yep, Vicki knows me.
It's true. And I'm just thinking, man, if you go on vacation, I'm just going to have to like make sure the phone is gone. You're just going to be just Steve time.
Yes, it's really nice. It's nice.
What are some ways that someone could start implementing gratitude in their business to help it grow, starting now, January 2nd? What are we going to think about? Do you suggest that they like quarterly plan, or set a yearly? I hate to just do yearly because things change, or do you want it to be just spur of the moment, when things happen, call Steve? So
obviously I didn't come on the podcast today to pitch myself, so I don't want to say, obviously I could just sit here and say, hire me, I'll take care of it all. But that's like, what I would tell you is like, I would say the best thing you could probably do at this point is indeed establish a budget first. Decide what you want to pay for what kind of people you want to serve first. Decide who they are, who do you want to serve. Like obviously pick your highest value clients and the ones you have the best relationship with, because don't pick the high value client because that person might be an a-hole, and you don't want to that person actually shouldn't even be in your database. You know what I mean? So for me, I did fire a lot of clients that were worth a lot, but I just didn't like them, and I didn't want their referrals either, because I don't want more of you. Yes. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, those small businesses could end up being big fish in the sea at some point. And,
Yes.
and, that's always nice that, there's a nice person on the other side of that big fish.
Yes, and it's exactly right, and that's why that's what makes gratitude marketing so powerful, is that it is principle based. So there's not this what I'm talking to you about today on January 2nd, 2023 was the same principles that worked back in BC or whenever the hell that far back, ancient Egypt. Like, these are the same principles. They still work with people then, they still work today, and they're going to still work on January 2nd, 3023. So that it is what it is, and that's why I built, because it's principle based, and I just know what I'm doing. Will never have an expiration date. Whereas like technology and stuff, that will. I mean, Blockbuster went out of business, all kinds of different stuff. But this is not. This can't go out of business.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever I think of this, when I started with UPS years ago, our CEO, who I'd never met, obviously, he was gone by the time I started there, but he used to carry 3x5 cards in his pocket. And every time he would meet you after he left you, he would write down your name and things about you that he learned.
That's
and then the next time he saw you, he would tell you those little things that he remembered about you. And that made a huge impression on people. And and so it is a little bit more work for you to do, but the end result, I think, is just so wonderful, because you do, rather than a client, you become friends. You have, as you said, relationships.
Yeah, I mean, and think about what you just said, though. Like, it is a little bit more work, but it is just that, a little bit more work.
Yeah.
What's the payout? It's not a little bit. Let's put it that, what I mean? It's a lot. So, I mean, if you, anybody with a, I guess, a functioning prefrontal cortex and, between your ears, I would say like, I will be happy to give you a little bit of extra effort for a massive reward.
Right. And the business that we're in as entrepreneurs, a big part of it is that, the joint venturing and networking and things like that. But just as you said before, just as I don't want clients that I don't like, I also don't want to be an affiliate or a JV with somebody that is a jerk or something. So,
Correct.
It's important that when you build those relationships, you do, keep information on them, so that when you see them again, you was like, oh, well, I now remember you, and I'm just going to hold off on that.
Yeah. Those note takings are so important. I mean, for me, I don't have the 3x5. I'm doing, millennial version now with the cell phone. So what, I have the note.
Don't talk.
Yeah, I have the Notepad app, and I just open it up and say, oh, okay, Vicki likes all of these things.
Super. So what advice would you have liked to have been given when you were 20?
I think the best piece of advice, well, one of them are two Bible verses, but that's not really advice. And then the third is probably the most life-changing advice I ever had, and it was, as long as your values are, or if your priorities are clear, your decisions are easy. And that was like, and then that was the best piece of advice. And then, like, close second to that was, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's awesome.
I was like, whoa, okay. So like, every time something I wanted to be changed and it just stayed like that, I'm like, I'm choosing this. I need to stop choosing this. How am I choosing this, and how do I stop choosing it? So
I think that's a good thing to remember, because a lot of times we get comfortable. For me, when I retired in 2018, it could have been easy for me to just sit on my behind and do whatever, but I wanted to still challenge myself. And so pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is scary, but again, that change just brings so much excitement and fulfillment.
Yes.
Sometimes failures, but then you learn
That's
from
okay.
them and you brush up and
Failures
do
can be
some more.
fun. Failures
That's
can be
right.
fun.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot
Well,
of too many people think it's the opposite of success when in fact it's part of it. And
absolutely.
it's just like it's just an event on the road to success. It's not
Mhm.
the opposite direction. It's part
Well,
of it.
and I always say that, when I screw up, mess up, or, fail something, it really is eye-opening for me to appreciate when things go right,
Oh, for sure.
and you don't know joy unless you know sadness. And
Yeah, because if everything is happy, then nothing is happy.
yeah, that's right. And you tend to not appreciate the things that you have. And that's why what you do is so important, because that unexpectedness is so, so wonderful. If somebody, as you said, is giving a gift all the time, when you do get it, it's like, oh, here, just add it to my shelf.
Yeah. And it's
But
usually a cheap gift too. So
yeah.
like we have this thing called the impression scale. And it's obviously about being on the right end of the impression scale where the average amount of impressions is positive versus
Mhm.
negative. And like so if I keep sending you a monthly gift that's negative or neutral, that's not like if I sell a house to $1 million client, that's usually around a $20,000 commission. And I send you $100 gift card. What are you gonna think of me? You're like, oh, cool. You just got
Yeah,
$23,000. Will you
yeah.
give me
And you
this?
could give me this.
So yeah, it's like, come on. I mean, the judgment's real. That's a negative impression.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a gift, but it's not really a gift.
right. I know when I first started dating my husband, he would pick me up after work in downtown Pittsburgh. And as he walked from the parking garage to my office, there was street vendors selling flowers. And so he would bring just, a bouquet of flowers from this street vendor. It doesn't cost a lot, but that impression was huge. It just was the thought that counted. And the people in the office just were all like, oh, he is bringing you flowers. What kind of flowers he bringing?
Nice.
And just little small things. I didn't need a $50 or $100 thing of roses to come delivered from somebody. I wanted it to be something that was thought out. And so,
It's cool. It's cool that he did it as often as he did, because I think by itself, flowers are not always the best thing because they don't last very long. But when you systemize it like that and you do it as in succession and you make it a thing and it becomes part of your life, and that kind of gesture is pretty awesome. That's next level by your husband.
So it's time now for rapid fire. This is just a few items, questions or phrases, and just whatever top of mind comes to answer it.
Shoot.
So what's the difference between working by referral, and that's active lead generation, versus a word of mouth advertising, which would be passive lead generation?
That's the difference. Word of mouth is passive, where you're just kind of like, you're doing business and you just got your head down, you're in the grind, and you're just hoping that you get people to tell other people about you. Whereas working by referral is the intentional, purposeful creation of a desire to refer you in another human being.
And I think you can even take it a little bit further. A lot of times, in what we do, people say, well, I don't want to be salesy. But I think if you give heartfelt, honest referrals where you don't expect anything, that when it comes time for someone to refer you, that's going to be remembered, I would think.
Yeah. So I do teach that weekly webinar I was telling you about. That's another thing. One of the major hitting points that we teach in that webinar is how to build deep relationships, even if you're an awkward networker or a complete introvert. And that's one of the things we go over. Because me personally, I'm more on the introverted. Yeah, see, I'm more on the introverted side as well. I really don't like go into a room and my wife is very extroverted. She goes into a room and she's like this flower, just blooms everywhere. And I walk into the room and I'm just like slide up against the wall. You know what I mean? What's up, everybody? I'm here. No need to make a big fuss about it. So
where's the bar?
yeah. Just give me a beer and don't bother me. Like COVID was awesome because nobody could talk to me. Nobody could come over.
Yeah. And,
So
you know, I think a lot of us introverts, though, got comfortable with Zoom too. And in a lot of
perfect.
ways, it's wonderful because, you know, as I teach public speaking, practice is how you get better at it. And whenever you get comfortable here, then you can just pretend you're on Zoom outside there in the real world.
Yeah, I mean, it's also because it's one-on-one. Like I'm just
Yeah.
talking to you now. I go to public
Yeah.
speaking. I mean, it's just one big, and I do public speaking myself. So
Uh-huh.
like, so when it's just one big mask to me. Like, no, it's a big faceless mask. Versus,
Mhm.
it's so much harder for me to do one-on-ones. And like, I hate like doing one-on-one. Like one of the things I hated the most about real estate was going into like a seller's house and trying to pitch them. I hated that, which is why I worked by referral, because I wanted to just
Mhm.
walk in and get it signed. Because I
Yeah.
wanted to have the relationship, the pre-existing trust. I don't want to
Mhm.
walk in there and be like, so here's why you should use me. Blah, 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 blah. Like I'm not that's not that's not, you know, that's not my thing.
All right. So you referred earlier to appreciation advocate as Santa's elves. Why don't you just go a little bit further into why you feel that way?
So for us, so because appreciation for small businesses, like they don't appreciate on their clients as much as they should because it's tight. It takes a ton of time. And the same reason Santa can't give all of his gifts to all his little to all the people of the world, because he's only one guy. So like the small business owner, the solopreneur, or mom and pop or average Joe, like they don't have time. They have to order inventory. They've got to do accounting. They've got to manage projects, meet clients, and get new jobs, and do marketing. They've got to do it all. And like now you're gonna dump. So for us, the average campaign takes 170 hours. You're going to take it, which is about a month. It's 21.25 hours of the working month, which the working month is 22 hours.
Right.
So we're like 0.75 hours short of a whole month. I'm going to demand that of a small business owner as a gratitude
Yeah.
marketer. No, here, I'll be take that off your plate. Like that's basically where, you know, just like Santa's us. Hey, Santa, you only have 8 bajillion people to take care of. Let's take off a little bit of that load off your back. So
Yeah,
that's basically how it works.
for sure. And the last one is, and this is something from my days working for Arby's corporate office. We
Nice.
had local store marketing, and a lot of franchisees didn't really know what to do, how to do it. Explain to the audience about customer loyalty marketing, which is something that, you know, has been very helpful, especially during COVID.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge because to maintain and keep a customer is so much cheaper than to acquire a new one. And most businesses know that. But executing on it is much harder than I guess, than they actually do. A lot of people are always doing new marketing, and that's good always to get new marketing, but don't lose sight of who already bought into you. I think a lot of people are always trying to get the new thing, the new marketing campaign, the new this, new that, new clients. And it's just like you have 250 clients. Like for me, my real estate business, I had 250 A plus clients. I'm just like, I don't have to go get new business. I can go, these people already know me, like me, and trust me. I'm just going to keep loving on them. And I'll use a little bit of my budget for new people, but these people already bought into me. Why don't work too hard? Don't work harder than you need to. So that's it.
So as you were talking about that, it did make me think about taking it to a second level. We talk about customers right now and clients, but one of the biggest pitfalls, if you will, companies having, especially the last several years, is I've got good employees and I'm trying to keep them. Because just as it takes you a lot more money to get new clients and customers, same thing with getting a new employee. So how can an employer, small business has employees, how can they use that to not only appreciate their customer, but also appreciate their employees with those unexpected recognition?
Yeah. So for that, we actually, it was funny enough, we actually have a campaign that does appreciation just for employees as well. as opposed to just consumers. So sounds like my son is upstairs running around, banging around the house. I apologize.
Can't hear it.
Oh, good. Okay. So basically, yeah, we do have a campaign that does just for employees as well, because employees versus what do you call them? Versus clients are the same. They're people. So the effect is still the same. I mean, you can I guess the packages that you would give them are a little bit different. Whereas like maybe for employees, you might say, look, once a month for your entire employment here, you need to take, you're all entitled to 1 3-day weekend per month. Like that's a way to love on your people. So they and it gives them a long weekend every month, as opposed to waiting for like a national holiday or something.
Yeah.
They know they have that. And if they do have a national holiday on a Monday, they can do the 3-day weekend and make it a 4-day weekend. So like, it's just a nice thing for them to do. Like that's a one way to love on your people, or whatever else you can do, or, however you want to do it. But there's a bunch of creative ways you can do it. But the principle's the same. You're dealing with people still.
Right. Exactly. All right. It's time now for me to warn those that have been just listening in that I'm going to be sharing my screen with Steve's contact information and information about his gift, if you will. So if you have not been taking notes, which I'm so sorry that you haven't, but if you haven't been taking notes, it's time now to go ahead and get your pencil, paper, pen, whatever you have, crayon, marker, and be able to copy this information down. I will read the website. So the website is appreciationadvocate.com. That's appreciationadvocate.com. Again, appreciationadvocate.com is the website. You can find him on LinkedIn and Facebook, especially if you're into real estate or need somebody for real estate. But I wanted him to just talk to you about what you can find on his website.
So basically on my website, you'll just learn exactly about, what we do, how it works, how easy it is for you to basically implement the appreciation process into your business and not have to pay an absolute freaking fortune for it. And then also, if it's something maybe you feel like you're not ready to do just yet, that's totally fine. We do have a weekly webinar where we teach people new stuff about this kind of stuff. And it's the same, the address is the same, appreciationadvocate.com/webinar. And you can sign up for that. So, and we'll go into different secrets there as well. So, outside of that, guys, that's pretty much it. We're a pretty straightforward company, and I'm not going to sit here and give you the pitch. As you know, I already hate to do that.
Yeah. All right. But that's good to know that it's appreciationadvocate.com/webinar. So you can go ahead and register for that. Is that?
Yep, you can just register for it. It'll save you a virtual seat, and then we'll go through a whole presentation. We'll give you, people will ask questions, things like that.
Awesome. So it has been just wonderful talking with you. I think you're only the second person that I've had on that has talked about this appreciation and recognition gifts, and I do think that it's really important, especially for those of us that are doing summits and in-person things where you want to recognize your audience and those that are VIPs. So there's a whole lot of ways that you could use with Steve has. So definitely check out his website, the appreciationadvocate.com, and make friends with him on Facebook and LinkedIn, follow him, but just check out the webinar. That I think is a great thing. You do it obviously at your own timeline, but I'm assuming that you'll send information about what the webinar is going to be talking about that week, so that it might entice us to check it out, right?
Yeah, so if you go to the website, appreciationadvocate.com/webinar, the information is all there. Like everything we're going to be teaching is on the website.
Awesome.
Yep.
Excellent. So go ahead and make sure you do that. And thank you so much for being such an awesome guest. I learned a lot and enjoyed meeting you.
Yes, for sure. You too. Thanks for having me, Vicki. It's been a lot of fun.
You're welcome. And as always, I remind you that life is a journey and it is up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Nettling signing off.
Thank Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Netling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.